Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today is a windy, rainy, gloomy day in our tropical island of Guam. And so I've been having this tire carrier that I got from GenRight sitting around for the last couple of weeks, so I think it's a perfect day to do some Jeep modifications. So I'm going to be installing this bad boy so I can put that tire on the back of my Jeep. And thought I'd bring you along with it, try to share any issues that I come up with and some of the steps along the way. So hope you enjoy. So the first thing you need to do is install the urethane bushings and sleeves. I didn't have a press, so I just used a vise that I had to press the bushings into place and then the sleeves on the hinge side. So there's two different places that you can mount the tire carrier. Either on the bottom for smaller tires, which is where I'm going to mount it because I have 35-inch tires right now. The plan is to upgrade to bigger tires in the future, but that may be a little while. But I'm going to put it down here. If you have bigger tires, I think it's 37 above, you can mount it up here, and that gives you more tire clearance down at the bottom of the Jeep. So I'm going to mount it right here. So I'm not exactly sure where this piece goes. It's not in the instructions. The instructions look like they're years old as well. Some of the things are a little bit different. Some of the pieces are a little bit different, but you can figure it out. Time to set this thing aside. And now we'll start working on the hinges. Gotta get these bad boys off. Very long pause. This is a few hours after I started trying to take off the hinge right here. So these are regular bolts, but the hinge right here, you need a Torx bit and you need a T50 Torx bit. And I didn't have a T50 Torx bit, and I live in a tropical island and the closest Home Depot is about 40 minutes away. So this is a game stopper or a show stopper if you're trying to complete this project. So make sure you have a T50 Torx bit. I had to do a lot of digging around to find out the exact number. T50. All right, here we go. The directions say to drive out the factory pivot, but there's no way this was coming out. So I ended up having to Dremel it and then get it out with some pliers and a screwdriver, and then using a punch to hammer it out. So next you need to install the slotted GenRight hinge that is provided in the hardware, and you replace the pivot pin that you just removed with the shoulder bolt that GenRight provides. And once you have that in place, you go ahead and install it on the Jeep. And once you finish installing the top hinge, you go ahead and do all the same steps for the lower hinge. I was planning on stopping after putting the hinge on just because it's evening time and resuming tomorrow, but I wanted to see what it looked like, and so I put it on. Now I think I'll keep pushing into the evening. So I put the tire carrier on. I needed some help with it, so if you need some help, but just make sure you put the right bolt in the right place. The top mount, that bolt is an adjustment bolt. Essentially, you can make sure the other side lines up with it, so make sure that's on the top side. So after you've removed the tail light, then the next thing you do is you take the latch plate and remove all bolts, but remember exactly how they are. So I'm going to take some pictures and then take all the hardware off and put them in a specific location so I know where each one goes. So now you install the latch plate on the carrier with the pins, and then after you do that, you level the carrier and line up the latch plate best you can right along the edge of the door. And then what I did is I used a paint pen to mark all the holes where I'm going to be drilling. Try to do this as carefully as you possibly can. All right, this is a very important part. Start all your holes with a 1/4-inch drill bit. Then the holes where you're going to put spacers, the plastic spacers, this one, and this one, just do the first, so there's, you can kind of see right here. So do the first layer with a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Don't go all the way through because your spacer is going to go through and sit right there and keep the body from collapsing. And then get a 5/16, and where you already drilled 1/4 inch, get a 5/16 drill bit and go through where your stops are going to be, these 2 holes right here, and don't mess it up. Okay, pro tip. I had to take it back off, and I put the spacers in to each hole where the spacers are supposed to go. I think that'll help this installation go a lot easier than putting other screws in first. Now that those spacers are in, I can just lay the plate flat and put all the bolts through the holes. So another pro tip, I went ahead and put all the bolts in. Before you start tightening any of them down, you probably want to put all the bolts in, just because it's not like a perfect machined placement. So yeah, make sure everything's in the right place before you start tightening things down. And after you tighten down and secure the latch plate, now it's time to mount the tire. And if you have a big tire, this is only a 35-inch tire, but this thing was a beast. Can't imagine bigger tires than that. You'll probably need help mounting it. But most important thing with this is you put the plastic piece in first, and then you put the metal washer in behind it, and then you use the speed handle to tighten it as tight as you can against the cage itself. And then finally, you close the carrier and adjust the top hinge side pivot to allow the carrier to close without having to adjust or lift or move the gate. Then you put in your pins, secure them, and you're ready to roll. So now I've cleaned up this license plate delete area, and also got this from GenRight. I put some Loctite double-sided tape. It's supposed to be for outdoors and waterproof and etc. So we'll see how well that holds. And thank you for watching. If you like this content, if you found that this was helpful, please like and subscribe below. It does help the channel. We'll see you next time.